today we're going to talk about how to set yourself up for success. And that is the 2022 goal setting for health coaches. And I feel that this is imperative for every single health coach to do for their business. So we're not being reactive to things. We're actually being proactive, and we are planning out the whole year. So if we haven't met yet, hello, I'm Lori Kampa, and I'm the founder of workshopsdone.com and also mindfulhealthwithlori.com. So here are my two daughters, here's my fiance, and I love giving workshops. So I love that you are all here because you are giving yourself that ultimate gift by setting yourself up for a really successful 2022. And I love that this quote, it says it all, like if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up somewhere else. It's like just getting in the car and thinking that if you just drive, you're going to find the place you're looking for. Well, without a map, without knowing where you want to actually go, you won't know where you're going to end up. You're going to end up maybe completely somewhere else and maybe not even being able to sustain your business. So we need to aim at something, because if we don't aim at anything, we're going to hit that every time, right? We're going to hit at nothing. So we need to think about what's our big dream? What are those goals that we need to set? And then the hardest one, taking action onto those goals. So when we set these effective and active goals, we achieve more, and that is when we're going to have faster results. So we have to make these goals SMART. And some of you are probably familiar with that acronym, that S stands for specific, M is measurable, A is for attainable, the R is for realistic, and then T is for timely. So when we practice having these SMART goals, and just like we do with our health coaching clients, right? When they have these SMART goals, they can achieve so much more than they thought that they could, especially with your health. And it's the same way with your business. So we set the goals, right? And we're going to see the results when we actually act and participate in our goals. I think in my health coaching practice, so many clients, they want to lose weight. They want to get healthy. They want to eat better food, but those are really vague goals, right? And so we need to set those goals to be specific. So the most important part of it, though, is just taking action, taking a lot of action. And it doesn't need to be big action right away. It can just be a small step. And so know that you don't have to be paralyzed. You don't have to be stuck or feel, or I should say, stuck and overwhelmed, because that's what I see happen a lot, that there's this fear of failure. But when we go ahead and we run a program, when we go ahead and we do some different marketing and it fails, that's okay. That's a good thing, because if we fail at something, it teaches us what works and what doesn't work in our business. So we need to do that, because these mistakes are necessary. We have to make mistakes so that we know which way to go towards success when we're running a business. So failure is not the opposite of success. It's actually part of success. So don't stay stuck and not just be in motion. We want to be in motion in the correct state, right? Actually going towards actions, those most important things that are going to turn the dial onto your revenue, towards getting more clients. So we can't overthink things, right? I love this quote by Tina Fey. She says, you can't be that kid standing at the top of the water slide overthinking it. You have to go down the chute. And the only way to really learn to experience something is just by doing it. And so by acting it, even though it's not going to be perfect, it's okay. So we need to set the goals, because that's going to be the first step to turn this invisible goal, right, our dream, into the visible. So I want to hear from you, like when you set your goals, or do you set goals? Do you want it to be like, okay, this is a good goal and I'm going to be smiling a lot? Or do you want to have like this great goal that you're doing a happy dance? Or do you want to set like big, scary goals? And this is going to blow your mind. And I think when you first start out, I think the good goals are perfect, or when you're doing a new program, to have these good goals. But then each time you're going to repeat it and then refine it. And so you're not recreating the wheel over and over again. You're going to be selling the same workshops, you're selling the same coaching programs, all that over and over again. So then you can get scarier. So I want you all to grab a notebook, have a calendar in front of you, because this is going to be some action. And I do have a full free course on goals. So if you want to take the hour-long course, go to lorikampa.biz/goals and you can watch the whole entire thing. But for this mini course, I want you to think about how many clients do you want for your one-on-one coaching? Do you want to do one-on-one coaching? For me, I know I'm always going to do one-on-one coaching because it fills me up. I love doing it, but I can only take like 8 to 10 at a time. And meaning that's about 2 new clients every month. And that's what works for me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what works for me, how I started out. And then you think about, okay, do you have a group program? When I first started, I started with individual coaching first. Then I added a group program and then goals for giving workshops, because you need a way to fill your coaching one-on-one and to fill your group programs, plus make some extra money. So then how many workshops, how many talks do you want to give? So when we talk about the webinar goal for one-on-one coaching, think about your coaching program. How much does it cost? Now, I set mine up that I have 3 different programs. So 4 sessions, 8 sessions, or 12 sessions, because I realized I didn't want to meet with everybody for 12 sessions because sometimes they didn't need that, right? And other times we do 2 sets of 12 sessions, or I've had clients for years also. So if you think about if your program averages maybe 1,000, meaning that sometimes they could do a 12 program, 12 sessions, sometimes they do a 4, maybe it averages to be 1,000, or maybe all of your programs are at 1,500. Like, just think about what is your aim for your clients, for how much to charge. So if you get 2 clients a month at $1,000 each, that's $2,000 a month. So that means you're going to have $24,000 at the end of the year from your private coaching. Or if it averages $1,500 a month, that's about $36,000 at the end of the year, just from your one-on-one coaching. What I like to do though is have that, instead of saying, oh my God, I need to make $36,000 just in that one section of my business. No, you can break it down into small bite-sized pieces, because for me, I can get myself up into an overwhelm or anxiety state very easily. So I like to break things down and make it simple and calm, just like a calming state. So what are 3 things that you can do to increase your client numbers? And I actually want you to go into the chat room right now and let me know what's something that you know that you've done in the past to get a client. So is it that you are doing more of the 30-minute free coaching sessions? That's the biggest one for me. So for me, I need to do more workshops because that's how I get them into my free sessions. Emailing doesn't cut it for me. Social media doesn't cut it for me. So what is it for you? Is it doing personal messages? Is it doing a group program and then you transfer them into your private? So what are just putting one thing down? What's one thing that you notice that you can do to increase your client numbers? And then choose one of those tasks and then break it down further, right? So if it's, okay, I need to get more of these free 30-minute consults, then think about, okay, what's 1 to 3 things off your list each day instead of having this one big looming goal. So what do I need to do to get those 30-minute sessions? Okay, so I can make a warms lead list, right? And I can come up with 60 people or however many people and message them each individually, and why, make it nice and personal, and then invite them, right? Or you can book some workshops. Like, think about what are the things that you need to do to get to that goal, knowing that 80% of your results come out of 20% of your actions. So, oh, Sharon says, I love the way you break this down. Yes, Sharon, I have talked about this before. So yeah, I'm seeing in the chat, like, personally invite people. Challenges. Yes, I love challenges. They're a lot of work, but you can really grow your list and have people get to know you. Yeah, so I'm seeing lots here. So when we think about 80% of our results come from 20% of our actions, we need to be smart with how we spend our time. So thinking about what are the actions that are going to actually get clients to you. So we do these monthly co-working sessions. It's the second Monday of every month at 2 p.m. Central Time. They're free. Everyone's invited. And so sometimes when people are not sure what they want to work on during that time, I'm always going to say, of all the things that you have on your list, because sometimes their list is a whole page long, which I have done that too. Look at that. What's going to make a difference? Is it going to be doing a Facebook post, or is it going to be doing maybe a Facebook Live or messaging someone personally? So everyone is going to be a little bit different. And I don't want anyone to stall on not putting themselves out there to get clients because they're not ready. Oh my goodness, I was so not ready to be a health coach, but that's how I learned how to be a health coach. And really, our clients don't want us to be perfect. They don't want their wellness educators to be perfect either. They want us to be real. So when we talk about eating popcorn and having a glass of wine one night, when we talk about some of our struggles, they're relating with us, and we can talk about where we were and where we are today, right? So we can relate with them, but you do not need to be a perfect weight. You do not need to have everything in your life figured out, because most people don't have everything figured out. But I believe, like what Bill Gates says, he talks about how his success is, part of it is that he only focuses on a few things. And so what I like to teach other health coaches is to do the same thing, to only focus on a couple areas of your business. And if it doesn't go in those little sections of your business, you don't have time, you don't have energy or money to put forth to that. So for me, it's individual coaching, it's group coaching, and it's workshops. And then my fourth one is Workshops Then Academy. So that's a separate business. But those three things, so whenever there's a course that has something else that I'm interested in, I'm like, no, that's just that nice shiny object over here, because, oh, this is getting kind of tough because now I'm really in it, I'm refining it, right? But we need to think about focusing on a few things. So these are my three things. So write these down. What is your goal for one-on-one coaching? What is your goal for a group program? And what is your goal for your wellness workshops, for your talks, so that you can fill those programs? I 100% believe that when we do less, we actually can make more, right? So taking what you already have. So your individual coaching program might become your group program. What I do in my detox program, we used to be a 5-day whole foods cleanse. Well, all of my clients, I was doing that program with them for 10 to 14 days. Now my new group program is a 10-day whole foods cleanse. So they go back and forth, that you can use what you already have and see what works. So for a revenue for a group program, this is an example. So I used to sell my 5-day detox for $97 and then a $20 early bird discount, and nobody ever bought it at $97. So $77, 50 people each time was a realistic goal that was pretty achievable for me. And so that was about $38.50. So if you run 2 detoxes a year, that'd be about $7,700. If you do 1 a quarter, that'd be about $15,000. But knowing that as you keep running these, your numbers are going to increase, or you're going to change in a little bit, right? So think about what it's going to look like for each different year. So right now, we talked about the revenue goal for one-on-one coaching. Maybe it's 24,000, maybe it's 36,000 for you. A revenue goal for a group program, maybe it's around 15,000. These are all going to differ depending on if you're brand new starting out, you don't have a group program yet, or if you've been in the business for a couple of years. And then a revenue goal for wellness workshops. So if you're just starting out, a good rate is about $400 for the hour, but you definitely can go much higher. And I like the goal of just, 2 workshops a month. It's not a big deal. You get 2 new clients a month, 2 new clients a month, and 2 new workshops a month. And a lot of these workshops are going to come from, like, if you work with Park and Rec, if you work with your community ed, if you work with the library, if you work with companies, that you'll just have a monthly one. So when you get some of those, it becomes a little bit easier. So this would be about $10,000, but this is what you need to find new people that you're going to be relating with. You also can just run your free virtual workshops whenever you want and gain more people that way as well, and sell your programs and sell your coaching program. So this would be for someone starting out. This would be a nice total, about just under $50,000. And so adjust it to you, but write these down, see what's realistic for you for this 2022. Maybe you're working another job right now. Maybe this is your 100% focus and you want to go even more. So when you write out these goals, then come down and write them out monthly. So I like to use a Google Doc. I also, do I even want to show this over here? I also have my annual calendar that I like to highlight and put down when I have different programs and when the kids have vacation, so I can see it at a glance. So I never want to get overwhelmed by having programs one on top of the other. I need to have a little breather room in between. So take some time. If you're watching this on the replay, pause this and think about every single month. If you're running 2 detoxes a year, well, you're probably going to do January and July, or maybe you're going to do, you know, January and May, whatever 2 times or 4 times you want to do, fill those out. And then think about your promotional calendar. So I'm going to go through a little bit more of this. So I am doing a 10-day Whole Foods cleanse program. So I'm working on this at this very moment. So my 10 days cleanse is going to be January 31st to February 9th, 2022. But I've been working on this since last month. So when we look at the calendar, don't just put your dates of your program. Make sure to include dates about your nurturing. What are you going to be doing? About when are you going to announce you're going to do a webinar, a masterclass beforehand to sell the program? When are you going to announce that? What are the dates you're going to give that free masterclass, right? So it's not just January 31st. I'm working on this right now, and my first masterclass is tomorrow night for this. And then you can talk about what the dates are of the entire program. My program is a 10-day Whole Foods cleanse, but we're actually going to be together for 3 weeks. The reason why I'm changing this, just to let you all know, because I know people have asked me why I'm doing this, is because when I've been doing the Whole Foods cleanse with my clients, we've been going longer, and I am seeing amazing results that are staying. And when I was doing it for 5 days, some people were doing it more like a diet. And so we're doing this 10 days, but then every 2 days after that, we're going to add a new food. So February 9th, yes, we technically end the cleanse, but on February 10th, we're just going to be adding gluten into our diet. That's it. And then on February 11th and 12th, we're back on the cleanse. We're going to see how that feels in our body. Then the next day, we're adding dairy, right? So we're going to be guiding it so people are really, truly understanding. But I didn't really want to call it the 16-day Whole Foods cleanse because we are reintroducing at that time. But I like to use a Google Doc when I am really figuring out what are the dates and how am I breaking something down that's so big when you say, oh my gosh, I have to do all these master classes, I have to do a new sales page, all this. So just come into a Google Doc and just write it out and then put it on your calendar. This is something that to have a general range in advance. So right now you can be talking about September, but it might change just by a week or 2, right? So I like to put on here, you know, I'm doing 4 live group calls with this Whole Foods cleanse. So I need to make sure that I put all this on my calendar to know where I'm going to go. So I'm not going to overwhelm myself and book too much. And then guess what happens when we overwhelm ourselves? We just don't do it. We stay stuck. So it needs to be realistic goals. So my program is going to be $197, but I'm doing a $50 off early bird because it's my first time doing this program. It's a bigger program. So I'm doing this introductory early bird. So it's only going to be $147. And this first time through, my goal is just 50 people, but I put a number on that. So often when I see people doing these groups, they're just like, well, I'm just hoping to get 10 people, or I'm just hoping to have people sign up. But we really need to think about what are those small steps we need to take to get to those 50 people. So I have on my calendar 2 master classes this Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time and Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time. I have on my calendar a tentative one for Tuesday. next Tuesday, that in case I'm not getting enough people interested, I have that cleared on my calendar to do something more. And I also have a whole page of alarms lead list so I can help with that. So, and then for the summer program, I'm going to up the price and then have more people. So my group program, this is what I can put for my 2 cleanses. Now I also run workshops at Academy, so I have to adjust for those dates too. But I want to talk about like keeping things simple when you are doing a new program or just switching things up. My logo was just the 5-day Whole Foods cleanse. I just changed it to put a 10 in front of it, like just nice and easy. This is like my masterclass, you know, my PDF or my JPEG that I'm putting out. I don't love it, but I just, sometimes you just have to go, I can't spend all this time in Canva. I just need to have something done and then move on and go to the next thing. So we don't want to focus so much on getting everything perfect. Sometimes we have to do B+ work so you can really focus on the results of the people or getting the people into that. So, and then I also do the same thing with Workshops Done Academy. So I have 3 times that I do that. So that's why I have to think about my 3 groups with Workshops Done Academy, my 2 groups with my cleanse, and make sure that they're all spaced out. And I know a lot of you have the same thing, that you have multiple dates, and give yourself that space so you don't burn out in between. So the next time I'm going to be doing Workshops Done Academy, we're kicking off on March 10th, 2022. And it'll be the 6 live calls. So everything's already on my calendar, and I know I'm not going to schedule anything else. So I just always believe, whether it's a health coaching client or a business coaching client, that we are the only ones responsible for our lives, right? We are the author of this life. So we have to make it a good one. And that means sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. We are going to be outside our comfort zone. We don't want to do it, but we want to go forth and learn to go forward with that. So what do you need to do? Or I always like to say, like, who do I need to be to accomplish my new goals? You know, what do I need to do? So what is that for you? Do you need to be more consistent? Do you need to be more focused? For me, I like to use a full focused planner, and that helps me come up with my big 3 things that I have to get done every day, no matter what. Those 3 things to get done, so then I can move on to the next thing. So if you want to take the bigger course on goal setting, it was something that I did last year, so I'll be saying 2021, but it's the same thing for 2022. Just go to lorikampa.biz/goals. So it's LORIKAMPA.biz/goals. And then you can get instant access to take the full course. And I also, just like with health coaching, we know when we're guiding somebody on curbing sugar, not going to McDonald's, right? All these things, we know they're going to slip. And it's the same thing in our business. This is not about being perfect. This is about trying new things and figure things out and having compassion for ourselves. So I always like to have with my clients, like, what's going to happen when things get tough? What do you need to tell yourself to keep going? What is your mantra? Because when we work with our health coaching clients and they're going up, they're doing great, and then they slip, without a coach, they typically continue to go down and they go, I'm so awful, I can never do this, and they just quit. But with a coach, you can help them to stay going up and learn from those things. But if we are prepared ourselves, we can do that for us, to say, no big deal. Yeah, that was a mistake, and this is what I learned from it. And now this is what I'm going to do going forward. So maybe it's just something like, I'm so happy and thankful for putting in the work every day. I like to say, I already won. I have, I have it in a little Post-it note here. Be the light. I am enough. I have nothing to prove to anyone. I'm more than enough. You know, do you have something that will inspire you? Do you have someone that can help you to remember? Do you need to write this on a Post-it note? Do you need to put this in your bathroom? Sometimes it's just about breathing, right? Whether we're talking somebody through emotional eating, to just breathe and to say, Why do I need to go to that food right now? What am I trying to avoid? It's the same thing with business. Sometimes we go towards that shiny new object because it's uncomfortable to work through something. What do you need to do to move forward? So think about that. And I would love to hear in the comments, because I'm going to be coming into the comments soon to answer any questions. And for us to not be afraid of what can go wrong, but really to have that attitude about being excited about what can go right, and to put our work out in the world to impact so many people, because that's what fills me up, is leading my purpose, really living that purpose. And I don't feel that I'm anything extra special, and I don't have exclusive experts, technology, or resources. I just stay in my lane and I keep moving forward. And I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I only work 30 hours a week doing these jobs. So I don't do this full time because I also teach yoga. I also want to have my own self-care of practicing yoga every day and taking baths, right? So when we just are focused, we can accomplish so much more. And so I don't want you to quit because that's the easiest cop out in the world, right? We just need to set a goal and to say, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit because I'm going to attain this. And when you do attain it, then you just set another goal. And these goals are realistic, right? So they're going to be these small goals that you're going to keep patting yourself on the back and saying, look at, I'm doing this. And when we don't quit and we just keep going and we learn from our mistakes, that's when we achieve our goals. But we are the only ones that can make that happen, right? So we have to do something maybe today, right from this workshop. What is one thing that you can do today that your future self will thank you for? And again, I like to bring it back to our health coaching clients, that sometimes it's just that one thing a day for them is drinking 8 glasses of water. And maybe for you, it's every day writing out your big 3 things. You know, today, writing out your goals for 2022, breaking them down by month, and then breaking it down by week. And then what do we need to do today? What are those top 3 things that are really going to make a difference? And I have been guilty of this myself, that we sometimes go into our excuses and we can go, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. But let's not listen to those excuses anymore. They're not serving us. This is your one life. It's our journey. And we cannot allow fear to prevent us from our dream of being a successful health coach. You're the only one that can make the goals happen. And I truly believe in every single health coach I've met. I've absolutely loved them. Everybody that I've met has had such a good heart. And what pains me is that I don't see the confidence always. So go for it and just believe and feel that confidence in your actions. And when we have action, we feel more confident, right? It just goes together. So again, if you want to go through the big course about goal setting, go to lorikampa.biz/goals, so you can go through the whole thing. And again, if anybody wants to come to my free masterclass, or who do you know? I always like to ask that one. Who do you know that would want to go to a masterclass on how to find freedom from craving? So I'm going to be talking about 5 different things that I see that most people don't always know, and what we can do to curb those cravings and really kick them to the curb. And a lot of you probably will know them, but if you know somebody else who's suffering, let me know. And that they don't have anything to do with willpower. So you can just go to mindfulhealthwithlori.com/masterclass if you are interested in going to that masterclass. So I love this quote by Michelle Obama. She says, the only limit to your height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work for them. So dream big. Let's set those goals and let's take some action. And if anybody has any questions at all here, let me know what questions you have. I love working with health coaches to put your goals together. So I'm just going to come back in here. So Norma says, I've been doing free 45-minute clarity calls to see if the client and I are a good match. Norma, I love that. And I think it's the same thing, is that I might not be the right match for them and they might not be the right match for me, right? So we don't want to take everybody because it might not be a good fit for us. So letting them know that they're being interviewed by us as well. Yeah, and Norma, I used to do 50 minutes, and then I realized I could get right to the point in 30 minutes. So I'm doing it, but I might go over. So I give myself that extra time just in case. Stephanie is saying, I'm learning to work on ignoring the shiny objects. Oh my goodness. You know what, Stephanie, I've been thinking about writing a workshop about avoiding the shiny objects. So because I do it, so many health coaches, and it's something that we need to work on every single day. And even though I am so much better at it, every day I'm intentional about what I need to spend my time on. And I'm not always successful, right? Mindy's is asking, what do you mean by Google Doc? Is that Microsoft Word? It's similar to Microsoft Word, Mindy, and you can use that, but it's an online basically Word document. So what I like about it is that I can also get it on my phone. I can grab that document in different places. So if I have an idea, I can put that in there, or I can share it with other people. But yeah, you could definitely use a Microsoft Word document or anything that works for you, even just a notebook, just having some pages documented for that. Sharon saying, I admit to by being a bit confused trying to do, both. Oh, because Sharon is in both Workshops Done Academy and Detox Done, but she's loving the comment, I am making it happen. Yeah, so those two groups are complementary to each other. So I absolutely don't think that I would have as many people sign up for my detoxes if I wasn't doing webinars. So that is how for my very first Detox Done, I did my very first masterclass from that. So use what you think is best for right now. But I always like the first time to just be simple, right? So you might not do 3 masterclasses. Maybe you're just going to do 2, or maybe it's 1. Sharon and I have talked a little bit about this, but we need to make it that it's manageable for you. And when you run your first detox, that first time through, there's a lot of admin work. So, and then after that, it becomes easier. So I love saying the words repeat and refine, that you do it once and it's scrappy. It's like you are just, it doesn't matter how much money you make, just get it out there, do it, right? You have like a little goal, but put it out there. Then the next time you're like, okay, now this is what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to add these marketing pieces to it. Now, so each time you can add a little bit more. So yeah, Mindy's asking if there's going to be a replay for this training. Yes, absolutely. All of the replays are always on workshopsdone.com/video and workshopsdone.com/podcast. So if you want to listen to it, go to the podcast one, or if you want the video, go under the video one. So all of the replays are there. So if you are looking for some more training, go there. Sharon said the parking lot is working well for me with shining objects. Yeah, Sharon and I were talking about this with her last coaching session, and I love that statement that you can have like a page in the back of your notebook for your ideas. And for me, it's a Google Doc that I have a whole business plan about wellness retreats. But that's something I can't focus on right now because I have kids in school. I can't be doing that. But it's something that I will be doing down the road. So it's a shiny object, but I just had to take an hour and put down all my ideas and then move on. Set your timer and then move on to the next thing. And it might just be jotting down one little idea, having an idea sheet, and then go from that. Norma said, I love that analogy about being distracted with shiny objects. Yeah, for a lot of us, Norma, that's courses. I think that's my thing, is like, I need to make sure that any course I take, I'm actually going to finish. So that, do I have the time, looking at my schedule? Mindy's asking, how do you define a masterclass versus what you are doing now? So a masterclass is just what you're calling it. So I think of anytime you go live on virtually, or anytime you go live in person, you can call that a masterclass. Now, if you're just live virtually, a webinar would be the same way. Now, today, I didn't put out a sign-up sheet or anything. I didn't grab email addresses from all of you. I just, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, I come in here for some free training as my gift to our community of health coaches. So that's why I don't call this a masterclass. It's just live training because I feel like it's not that formal. But it could, I definitely could have called this a masterclass. Now, the goal setting masterclass actually that is at lorikampa.biz/goals, that's actually a masterclass. I think of a masterclass also as at least an hour long. So yeah, Mindy saying retreats are my dream too. Yeah, I think, oh, I used to be in the hotel industry and convention visitor bureau industry for 25 years before this. So I'm like, oh, to marry my knowledge about hotel contracting and marketing to get people in different locations and planning itineraries with my yoga and my meditation and eating real food, I think that would just be so much fun. So let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, so Sharon has a really good explanation of masterclass. It's a deep dive. Yeah, I agree, Sharon. It's a better way of saying it. It's a deep dive. But Mindy, you don't have to call it the same thing. You can call it just a wellness workshop, right? You can call it a class. So there's many different terms that you can use. And Mindy, since you're part of Workshops Done Academy, I think it's either module 1 or 2. There is an explanation of all the different ways to use workshops. And I think that's where it's in module 1 or 2. And it's in one of the PDFs that it lists all the different names. So you might not have seen that yet because it's in one of the PDFs. So yes, thank you guys so much for being here today. So next Wednesday is a special one. So this is going to be a networking event. And again, there's no call to action for me. It's just for us to get together for fun and to network. And we're going to be talking about our ideal clients, who is our ideal client avatar, our niche. And as we network with each other, it's anybody that is a wellness entrepreneur, please invite them. So it's next Wednesday. It's January 19th at 2 p.m. Central Time. All the information is in the workshop support for wellness entrepreneurs Facebook group under the event section. So under the workshop support for wellness entrepreneurs event section, you can see all the information, but invite any of your wellness friends and we go into breakout rooms and we discuss what our ideal client is, what they look like to us. And then so we know if we get somebody like Norma, if you work with somebody and you're like, they're not a good fit for me, who are you going to refer them to? Right? We need to know all these other coaches. We need to know all these other wellness professionals so we can refer people back and forth in our little network that we have here. So anyway, thanks so much, you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.